Now I know you're not going to like hearing this, but your fat loss breakthrough starts with you tracking your calories. And before you roll your eyes and click off this video, luckily this is not something you'll have to do for the rest of your life. This is just so you can get started on the right track. In this video, I'm going to tell you why tracking your calories is so important, especially in the beginning stages of your fat loss journey, and how it's going to save you a ton of uncertainty and frustration. And then right after that, I'll give you a strategy that you can start following today so you can finally get some real and predictable fat loss results. Now, there are two main reasons you could potentially be struggling with your fat loss. Reason number one is you don't really know what you're doing. In other words, you're doing the wrong things. And then reason number two is you're just not putting in the work. But that is a story for another day. In this video, we're going to focus on fixing reason number one. You don't really know what you're doing. So let me start off with an analogy to help explain this a bit better. So let's say you grew up in a rural village with no education, no electricity, nothing, undeveloped. And one day someone comes to you and he tells you, if I had to drive a Ford F-150 15 miles south, how much fuel would I need? Do you think you'd be able to answer that question? Of course not, right? Like, you don't even know what a mile is. You don't know what an F-150 is. You don't even know what fuel is, right? So you have no way to determine how much fuel you would actually need to drive 15 miles south with a Ford F-150. You have no idea. And it's the same thing with your diet right now. How are you supposed to make informed decisions when it comes to your diet if you don't even know how much you're eating and how much you're burning on a daily basis and what a calorie really is? And this is exactly what tracking your calories will solve for you. It will do three main things actually. Number one is it will give you a lot better idea of how calories in and calories out actually work. Because I know you hear this all over the internet. Calories in, calories out, calorie deficit, make sure you eat enough protein, all of those things, but you don't really know what it means. So the day you start tracking your calories, you will actually learn to understand these terms and everything will make a lot more sense to you. If we come back to the analogy that I gave earlier, for you to actually be able to estimate how much fuel you would need to drive 15 miles with a Ford F-150, you're gonna have to know how far is a mile actually? How much fuel does a Ford F-150 use per mile on average? Once you understand those things, then you can actually start making an estimation. But if you don't even know how far a mile is and how much a gallon is and how much fuel a Ford F-150 uses, you can make no estimation that's actually going to be accurate because you have no reference point. And if you track your calories, you're going to learn to do the same thing with your food. You're going to start to figure out, oh, this is how much 2,500 calories actually is. And oh, those foods contain so many calories, those types of foods contain so many calories. And over time, you will learn to make estimations based off the knowledge that you've gained. Just like now, you can make an estimation of how far a mile is just by walking without actually tracking how far you went. So that's the first thing tracking your calories will do. The second thing is it's just going to get you quick and predictable results. Because if you track your calories, you don't really have to know a lot. You can just log your food and make sure the numbers add up, and you will get results if you actually track correctly. You don't have to worry about if you're following the correct diet. You don't have to worry about, should I eat another chocolate or not? Should I go exercise or not? You just make sure the numbers line up and there is no way you won't get results. So this will obviously be very good for your motivation levels and for your momentum because you're not going to constantly feel like you don't know what you're doing. Then lastly, it will show you where your weak points are, because if you have your entire diet and your entire lifestyle really when it comes to nutrition on your phone, it's very easy to see, oh, these are the points where I struggle with. That snack that you're always eating at 11 o'clock that you forget about, but now because you track it, you can see, oh, that's what's costing me so many calories, or whatever it may be. Because everything's on your phone and because you're so conscious of what you're eating, you'll be able to identify your weak points and what have been keeping you back in the past. Now for the strategy, because obviously at this point you don't really know what to do yet, first off, figure out how much calories you actually need per day. Easiest way to do that is just take your body weight in pounds and times it with 10 or 11. So if you weigh 180 pounds, then you need to eat 1,800 to 2,000 calories per day. Next up, download MyFitnessPal and log every single calorie that you eat. Okay, I know this doesn't sound fun, and it isn't going to be so fun, but the reality is if you want to see real results, you've got to bring your side and put in the work as well. Losing weight is going to be inconvenient at times, and the sooner you can accept that, the sooner you can start seeing results. So if you're tracking all of your meals on MyFitnessPal, making sure you stay within your calorie goals that you've set for yourself, there is no way that you won't lose weight. If you don't lose weight, you are not tracking everything. It's actually amazing. You'll see after a few days, it's like an entire new world's going to open up for you, and you're going to be like, no wonder I haven't lost weight in the past. Because there are going to be things that you thought were super high calorie and unhealthy, which are actually not that bad. And then there's going to be things where you thought, no, this is fine, this is negligible, it's not high in calories, it's healthy, which are actually not at all. Now, after you've tracked every single calorie for around 12 to 16 weeks, you would have seen amazing progress by now. As I said, if you didn't see progress, you didn't track everything or you didn't stick to your calorie goals. By now, you should have learned so much and you should feel very motivated because you've made such good progress, and you can actually start giving yourself a bit more leeway. Now, obviously, just because you're giving yourself more leeway doesn't mean you can start adopting your old eating habits again. The point is to change your lifestyle. This isn't just a 12 or 16 week thing where you lose a bunch of weight, get to where you want to go, and then you fall back to who you were. You actually need to stay there. If you want to change how you look, you need to change how you live. So what I recommend you do, if at this point you want to start giving yourself more leeway, more freedom, not having to track every single thing, do that by all means, but take it week by week. Don't stop completely after week 12 or after week 16. First week, track maybe 1 or 2 fewer meals a week. Second week, track 5 or 6 meals fewer per week. And then you keep on scaling it downwards all the way to the point where you feel comfortable and happy with how you're eating. Obviously, monitor your progress in the process. If you see that you're picking up weight again, become a bit more stricter for a while again, and then you kind of just do trial and error. At this point, you'll see you have a lot more knowledge, and it's a lot easier for you to be like, that's the thing holding me back, or that habit is pulling me away from my goals. And then slowly but surely you start developing this new lifestyle where you don't have to track every single calorie, but you can actually make informed decisions on the meals that you eat throughout your day. As I said, this is going to require a lifestyle change. Just because you're able to estimate calories by just looking at it doesn't mean you can just adopt your old habits again. If you're going to eat junk food every single day, you're going to pick up weight again. So if you've been struggling with your weight, this is your sign. I know a lot of you guys are putting off tracking your calories because you feel like this is not sustainable and you'll never be able to do it, but I can tell you, it's really not that hard. It's just a new habit that you have to develop. And once again, if you want to get somewhere, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. You're going to have to endure some inconveniences. Losing weight and getting in shape isn't easy. That is why most people aren't where they want to be. If you really want to make this happen, you're going to just have to change your mindset around it and be like, you know what? This isn't going to be easy. This is going to be inconvenient at times. But those inconveniences and those struggles are worth my goals to me. So start tracking your calories. It's going to make a massive difference for you. And then as you learn, as you progress, you can slowly but surely give yourself more leeway, more freedom, and eventually you can get to a point where you don't have to track your calories at all and still stay where you want to be and work towards your goals. I hope this helped.